Okay, so the different classes we've got Team Power Tech competing in this year sort of range from teenage right through. Teenagers obviously from 19 and under, and we've got a couple of young fellas giving it a bash in there this year, and then we move up into our junior class, which is under 23, and that's just an open class, so it's just an age limit there, so there's no height or weight restrictions or anything like that. After that, we've got guys competing in athletic classes. So the athletic class is more of a smaller shaped sort of a look rather than the big mass you're looking for in a physique class. Obviously not coming in quite as sharp, the judges aren't looking for. So the two different classes we have with athletic there is height. The cut-off in the short and tall classes is 1.75 m, so that'll determine whether you go down or up into the tall class. Same for physique, so you've got your novice, open, short and tall there.
Well, basically a couple of years back I was 110 kilos of fat, chain smoking, eating rubbish, and so my idea of exercise was walking to the dairy for a pie instead of driving. So made the decision to start getting in shape. Not originally with the idea of going into bodybuilding, just getting back in shape. And it wasn't until I met Shane here and I was talking to him, and he's put together a few workout programs for me and sort of convinced me that sort of wasn't getting too old for it and I should give it a shot. So yeah, no looking back for me. Okay, I'll be competing this year in the novice physique short. As for training, I tried a few different training regimens. At the moment it's quite high volume and heavy weight, just really looking to pack on as much muscle as I can and then hold it while I start cutting down. Best thing, it's easy, the training. Nothing else, nothing beats it. Coming in each day and pushing yourself to the limit, just competing against the big lump of iron sitting on the floor won't be picked up. Just everything about it. I love the training. Coming in and sort of seeing and feeling the changes that's happening in your body as you do it. It's better than sex. Nothing beats it. As for the worst part, I'd say it'd have to be the dieting, cutting diet. Bulking's easy. I love eating, so getting as much food in as possible is fine. But yeah, cutting down, coming in here, training, doing the cardio on limited calories, limited carbs, walking around like a zombie, snapping at the kids. That's definitely the hardest part, the dieting phase. As for what I'm trying to achieve, basically, anyone enters this with the idea of winning and coming first, or at least top three, definitely something I want to achieve. But the main achievement that I'm looking for out of this is basically being able to get up on stage in that pair of Speedos and look like I belong there, and not have everyone sitting there going, what the fuck was he thinking? Because there's always one guy up there that you look at and you just shake your head, and I just want to make sure that's not me. I'm doing this to prove to myself the sort of changes that I've made in my body and in my life from bad old days, and I guess to a lesser extent also prove to everyone who laughed at me when I said I was going to be a bodybuilder. I want to be able to get up on stage and show them that I've made it. As for why I started with Shane, when I first started getting in shape I actually started training at a different gym, and as soon as my 6-month contract there was up I made the move to Sky. Just a much better facility, better staff, a whole better atmosphere than what I found there. And at that stage bodybuilding was pretty much just a pipe dream. I was pretty sure that I was too old and too out of shape to really get into it. And during my first PT session with Shane, he managed to convince me straight off the bat that I wasn't too old and I could give it a good shot. And his wisdom as an inspiration has just kept me going forward from that point on. Not looking back.
I'd have to say it was my brother many years ago, and had seen him compete at bodybuilding competitions and gone through the ranks. And having watched old bodybuilding classics and seen Paul Dillett, Dorian Yates, Kevin Levrone, all the top bodybuilders and you can think of, Nasser El Sambati is another all-time favourite. Watching all of their bodybuilding DVD videos on the net years ago with my high school mates once made me decide to take up bodybuilding, and now I've inspired myself further just through my hard work and training at the gym and many hours of preparation. 2011 last year, I have to say the dieting between the South Island Champs and Nationals, and it was I think the transition from after South Island Champs through to National was extremely difficult, especially having to diet for another few months and trying to keep your body in that shape. It is pretty excruciating. I would say it had to be at the end of the night, South Island Champs. I got awarded a trophy as for first place for winning my section, and then again later on in the evening I took the entire class out, so I got yet another overall trophy, so overall South Island champ. And then on the evening I was awarded best male performer of the night, and of course then having gone through to nationals, there was even a better trophy, much heavier one, and bringing it back through Auckland Airport back to Dunedin was a pleasant feeling, especially when everybody was admiring the trophy at the airport. And of course, most rewarding, should I say, another rewarding factor, I had a goal, I set out to achieve it. Of course, now I've got my goals set even higher. In the next 4 or 5 years, I'll be competing again. So I will still always be there next year. This year I'm taking time out to assist backstage with bodybuilding. And I've always got it in me. And I was born to do bodybuilding, and I love the sport. And no matter how old I am, I'll still be competing when I'm in my 60s. Just through word of mouth and training. I've been training with Shane now for 3 years, and Shane's helped me, has assisted me with my training. He's been behind me every step of the way. He's believed in me, and if you have a trainer that believes in you and you believe in yourself, then the dreams that you wish to pursue, it definitely can be achieved. And Shane puts in 100% through all his clientele. Yeah, he's puts in 100% commitment, and he likes people to train hard. Yeah, if you can train hard and to be the best, you have to be the best. So that's his motto. Follow that, and you'll get far.
Different training styles that I use for different classes just sort of again vary on the genetic type of the person and what they respond to. I sort of give I've got my own style that I use with all my different clients, and that's just something that I've developed over the years, and just a lot of tricks and things that I've picked up off Phil. He's awesome, mate, and he's just got so much experience in the gym and with bodybuilding. So I've sort of combined what I've sort of picked up myself along the way with what I've got off Phil, and come up with some pretty good combinations and that. And I just need to sort of run and try with different people at different stages to see how well they respond of those things. So I always, regardless of what I'm doing with somebody, I'm always going to start with a nice big heavy lift early in the workout while you're strongest, your energy's, you're full, and then we burn out that big power with some big lifts there, maybe some heavy bulking phases. We're going to run as low as probably 6 to 8 reps, but after that once we burn that out, we're going to go into some big supersets and maybe even trisets. Leading closer into competition, obviously the body's a lot more depleted, and you're not putting nowhere near as much energy in. So the bigger lifts early in the workouts are going to sort of range a wee bit more in the sort of 10 to 12 to 15 rep range, with with not quite as many sets, probably 3 or 4 sets there before you roll into maybe not so much supersets and trisets at that stage, but more circuit sets. Got a couple of combinations that we run that are probably about 100 rep sets, and we'll do maybe 3 to 5 of them, so there's 500 reps just within probably quarter of an hour, 20 minutes, and it just leaves you with that real full hard pump, and we try and maintain it as much as we can and as hard as we can right through till competition. So there's no real difference in training for different classes. Obviously people that have competed before and you've got a real good idea of their body types and areas that they may need work on will focus on that, but apart from that it's just a matter of finding out what gets the best out of everyone individually and building from there. We've got the young fellas, Bernie and Dan, and actually Dan I think is going in junior. Hang on, shit, stop.